Alright guys, we got arguably the most, I guess, populated fan base for teams, really. NFC East. You gotta go through these schedules. Again, you got two teams that people think are good, two teams that people think suck, so let's go though. NFC East 2024 schedule rankings. Yeah, I want to get this over with. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Final Result. Of course, please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the 2024 NFC East schedule rankings. We will be going through all four of these team schedules. We will be ranking them, again, from hardest, which is 4th, to easiest, which would be 1st. Again, you look at this division, kind of like, again, 1A, 1B, I guess you could say, and then like 1C, 1, whatever you want to call that. Either way, though, this is definitely a division that's interesting. Obviously, it's been interesting for most years. Again, we have not had a repeat division winner since, what was it, like 2003, something like that. It's been a very long time. But with that all said, let's get right into the Washington Commanders schedule. And for them, obviously, a team that, well, had the #1, second pick overall last year. Again, they lost their last 9 games, or actually 8 games, tanking their way into that #2 pick. Looking again on the preseason in week 1 and 2, they're at the what is called Jets noon on Saturday, and then they're at the Dolphins at 7 o'clock. Then they close out the preseason on a Sunday night on NBC. But either way, looking at this team schedule, again, I think they have some opportunities to win games. Week 1 at the Bucs will definitely be interesting to watch. Again, if they're able to score some points again with Jaden Daniels, be able to run the ball on that Bucs defense, which is not going to be too easy to do. They can get that game definitely close, but again, if that secondary doesn't hold up, they will probably give up what is called multiple long touchdowns. And if that does happen, I think it'll be tough for them to win that one, but it's not a game that's impossible to win. Versus the Giants, that'll be a good opportunity to get the win, even though, again, they have struggled against the Giants for a while now. But hey, maybe they get the win there. What it's called, they got, again, when you look at it, they got 4 of their first 6 games are on the road. At the Bengals in week 3, that game's going to be tough on Monday Night Football. Again, last year, you look at the Bengals were at home on the short week, and they were able to beat the Rams. The Commanders, again, maybe they surprise some people. That's definitely a tough game for them. At the Cardinals in week 4, that's one I'll definitely want to watch. Again, 4 or 5 on Fox. That game, I guarantee you, will be very, very competitive, but again, a game that they could absolutely lose as well. Looking at it, I think 1 and 3, 2 and 2 are probably realistic possibilities for them. 2 and 2 is probably a little optimistic, but at the same point, they could absolutely get to that record as well. Week 5, though, versus the Browns, 1 o'clock on Fox. That's going to be a tough game to win. I mean, look at their team. They had one of the best defenses in the league back in 2020. The last time they faced this Browns team, they still lost by multiple scores. Maybe that defense can again get improve a lot. They're going to have to, again, they were by far the worst defense in the league last year. So if they're going to improve there, I think their offense will be actually able to score a couple times on that, what is it called? Browns defense, but it's not going to be an easy game for them. I'd expect them to lose it, but you never know. 2 and 3, probably where they're going to be. At the Ravens, that's going to be a tough one in many ways, so you can't exactly expect them to win it. Maybe they put up some points, though, and I'll make it a close game. Week 7, week 8, both home games versus the Commanders. Versus the Panthers in a weird 4:05 game. Then they got the Bears, 1 o'clock on CBS. Both those games are going to be hard to win. Should be pretty competitive. Honestly, I think they could definitely beat the Panthers. That's the game they should win. And then versus the Bears, another game that I think they definitely could win. At the Giants in week 9, they're going to have to score some points. Of course, they've struggled to do that the past couple of years, but again, they're able to get that done. Another game that I think they could absolutely win. Versus Steelers, week 10, that could be a trap game for them. Again, they were able to beat them to, when they were undefeated, so I think that's definitely going to get done. Week 11, though, short week at the Eagles. They're going to have a really good running game going that week to actually have a chance at winning that one, because I don't think their defense is going to stop a cold, so that's definitely be a tough one to win, but you never really know. So my guess, honestly, optimistically, 4 and 6, maybe, let's say like 5 and 6 optimistically. 4 and 7, 3 and 8, probably going to be possible here through 11 weeks. Versus the Cowboys and versus the Dolphins, Titans are both games that, again, I actually think they could be pretty competitive in. Versus Cowboys, not as much as versus Titans, but again, you look at it overall, again, those are both games that they have at least a shot. I mean, the Cowboys are going to be tough, but they've been able to keep up with them in the past. Obviously not last year, but that's about it. Week 14 is their bye week, and they have a really late bye week like last year. That obviously didn't go too well. Go over for them too well, but this is a team that I think can handle these first 13 weeks as long as they don't fall off in any part. 6 and 7 is a place to think they can definitely be, because you look at this team's schedule, they have some winnable games for sure. Week 15 at the Saints, that's going to be a tough game, and again, another game that I think, again, they can definitely have a chance to win, though. Versus the Eagles, again, that's going to be another tough one, but again, they're not on the road on a short week, so again, we'll see what happens there. Versus the Falcons, that's going to be a tough one to win. Again, we're looking at the other secondaries being matched up against those receivers. That's a lot of speed they're going to have to deal with. And then at the Cowboys, then their season, my guess is they're not going to win that one. They haven't won in Dallas since Thanksgiving 2020, 20, and that was against Andy Dalton. So probably not going to win that one unless the Cowboys have already clinched something or they've locked in as a what is called a wild card. But with this team schedule overall, I think they have some chance to win games. Obviously, this isn't a team that isn't expecting to do too much this year. But again, from what we've with the schedule, I think they can at least again knock off some teams and again win some games with the rookie quarterback Danny Daniels. And at least at that point, that's really what you want to be. You want to have a chance for success, set them up for success. This schedule definitely helps them do that. Alright, and now for the Dallas Cowboys. This team definitely has a very unique schedule. Again, not only do they have 6 primetime games, but this is not an easy schedule by any means. This Cowboys team's like unlike past years, unless the team again collapses or something, they're not going to be winning 11 or 12 games this year. I'm just going to be completely honest though. Again, yeah, maybe they are able to, but again, they don't have any cupcake stretch like the middle of last year. Again, looking at this team, again, you look at their preseason, they got a Rams game at 125. That just can't be right. Let's say 425. That is definitely not Eastern. That's Eastern though, and so is that. Either way though, looking at the Cowboys. All right, week 1 they are at the Browns, 4:25 on Fox. That game is on America's Game of the Week. That game is Tom Brady's debut as a broadcaster. My guess they're going to lose that one. I think their offense is going to lay an egg. That's just my humble opinion there. I mean, not really humble. I hope they get crushed. Versus Saints though, week 2. Honestly, even if Derek Carr balls out, which is not going to happen, I don't really see a spot where they lose this game. They're actually usually really good in week 2, so that's a game I think they'll definitely win. Versus the Ravens on America's Game of the Week. Again, it could go either way. That game's going to be really tough to win. Overall, because again, just the defense, they're facing as Cowboys. But honestly, I think they'll actually put up a couple points. And if that, Cowboys defense doesn't suck against the run, they should have a chance to win it. Back-to-back road games. First, a Thursday Night Football at the Giants. They haven't lost to the Giants in ages. I don't see them losing either of those games this year. At the Steelers on Sunday Night Football, that's definitely a game they could lose. My guess is probably 3-2, maybe 2-3 is where they're going to be through 5 weeks. Maybe not 2-3, but probably. Again, you get the Lions at home. Honestly, 3-3. If you're a Giants Cowboys fan, through 6 weeks at 3-3, that might be thankful because you look at 1, 2, 3, 4 of these games are not going to be easy games for them. Honestly, 2-2, I think they'd be good at. So honestly, 4-2. Honestly, that's probably where I think they will be. Optimistically, it's probably 5-1. I'm not going to say that's not possible, but they have 4 games in the schedule where I'm like, those are going to be tough games to win. And 1-3 is a possibility there. So I think thankfully 3-3 or 4-2 is where you'd want to be. After the bye, though, at 2 tough games on the road, at the Niners on Sunday Night Football. Don't think they're going to beat the Niners this year. At the Falcons, 1 o'clock on Fox. You know what? I think they'll actually be able to win that one. I just have a feeling, again, they'll be able to win that one. So let's say 4-4, 5-3. They usually play the Eagles pretty close. I think at home this year, they're going to get that one done. Not only because they annihilated them last year, but also because, again, they just usually play them pretty well at home. And they've won the past 2 years. So, yeah. Give them the win there. What is that? 5-4. Versus Texans Monday Night Football, that's something a game they could lose, but you know what? They're home. We'll give them the win. At the Commanders versus the Giants, these are both cupcake games before it gets a little harder, I guess. You know what? I really think about this. This kind of a cupcake schedule anyway. But at the Commanders, then they go playing Thanksgiving against the Giants. I'd be shocked if they lose either of these games. Maybe they blow it against Commanders. But here, we look at it through 13 weeks again with these back-to-back wins. My guess is they could definitely be 8-4. Maybe not, but we'll see. I don't think they're beating the Bengals week 14. Honestly, I think this is a Bengals team that is going to come into this game. We're playing really good football, and I'm going to give them that one. So let's say 8-5, 7-6 maybe. But they have back-to-back games they absolutely should win. Maybe not against the Bucs on Sunday Night Football, but honestly, this is a game. Again, you look at how they had the Commanders in this slot a couple of years ago. They beat them 56-14. I think they're going to win this game. But at the Panthers, that game should absolutely be a win. I'd be shocked if they lost that one. Let's say, 9-6, 10-5. At the Eagles, give me the Eagles in this one. Honestly, I don't see them winning this one. Again, the Eagles play well against them on the road, so honestly give them that one. Versus Commanders in the season, and that game could be meaningless, so you never really know. But yeah, again, we really look at the schedule. Again, the first 6 weeks are tough. There's no way around that. And off the bye, it's not really fun. So again, the first half of their schedule is really hard. But after that, I mean, they got maybe 4 games, 4 out of the 6, or 4 out of the 8. 4 out of the 8 games that are actually 9. 4 out of the 9 games. Let's say 4 to the 9, where I'm like, yeah, that's tough. But the other 5 games, they absolutely should be wins. So, looking at this team overall, again, if they're able to get around 500 through these first, 8 games, this team absolutely should have a shot at making the playoffs. Yeah, the Eagles games are going to be tough. They're probably going to drop one of those. The Bengals, Texans probably going to drop one of those too, but that's only 2 games they're losing there. So, overall, again, 6-2, 7-2 at finish this season is not out of the question for this team. And again, you look at it overall, that's usually what the Cowboys get. So, I mean, yeah, again, it's not the hardest schedule I've seen, but again, it's not the funnest first 9 weeks. And now on the Philadelphia Eagles, this team obviously choked last year. Their schedule is very, again, funky, kind of like the Cowboys this year. But again, looking at the preseason game, they're at the Ravens and they're at the Patriots. We don't know when that Patriots game is, but again, 7:30. Then they finish the preseason season at Saturday at 1 o'clock versus the Vikings, probably gonna be on NFL Network. But looking at this team schedule, first off, they go to Brazil to face off against the Packers on Peacock on a Friday, which is honestly really cool. But that's a game again I think could go either way. Honestly, though, I think they'll be able to bounce back on a little bit of an extended bye. Or a mini bye week for again playing the Falcons on Monday Night Football. They again the past 3 years they have been, or honestly 2 years really, they've been good in week 1. Again, I think that will continue. I mean, week 2 at home on prime time. I think they're going to continue that here in 2023. 2024, my bad. Back-to-back games on the road at the Saints, at the Bucks. They could drop either of those games. Maybe they drop one of them. But yeah, they could be 4-0 through the bye week. I'm not going to say for sure, but at the very worst, I think they're going to be 2-2. So 3-1 probably realistic for them. Maybe they are 4-0 like they were last year. Versus the Browns, 1 o'clock on Fox off the bye. Honestly, I think they'll come out fresh for that one, score some points, make it hard on that, what is it called? Brown offense for sure. At the Giants, week 7, Saquon's return, I guarantee he's going to run for at least 150 yards in that game. At the Bengals, week 8, I think if they're going to lose one game through, again, like the first 8 weeks of the season, it's going to be this game. So, my guys, they're probably going to lose this one. So, let's say they're like 6-0 or something. Probably going to lose this one. Versus Jaguars, though, on Sunday Night Football, that game's going to be a tough one for sure. The reason I say that is because the Jags have a lot of speed on that offense, if you didn't know. And again, what is it called? The Eagles don't really have that in their secondary right now. It's kind of like a bunch of slow dudes. So, yeah, they're going to have to, not mentally, don't take it like that. What is called week 10 at the Cowboys. That game's not going to be easy at all. Coming off, again, the back-to-back pretty tough games. So, again, if they're able to win that one, that would be huge. Versus Commanders short week, I'd be surprised if they lose that one, even though they just played 3 tough games. At the Rams, at the Ravens, honestly, they'll definitely drop one of them. Don't get that confused. I highly doubt they win both of those games. But maybe they beat the Rams on Sunday Night Football for sure. They could definitely win that one. At the Ravens, that one's going to be tough. Versus Panthers versus Steelers next 2 weeks, those both should be wins. Again, the Steelers are they're going to be tough to play, but unless Jalen Hurts just completely implodes against the blitz, I don't see a reason why they can't win that game. Again, they blew them out 2 years ago, so you never know. But at the Commanders week 16, that game could go, I guess that could be a trap game, but I don't really see them losing that one. Then they got the Cowboys, that's probably be a game for the division. And then they got the Giants to end the season, which honestly could also be for the division if they don't take our business in week 17. But overall for this team, again, they got some pretty tough stretches. I don't like this 6-week stretch really at all. But outside of that, I mean, they very well could, again, get off to a good start. And then obviously the end of the season gets pretty easy too. Like, again, 4 out of the last 5 games are going to be home, and at least 3 of them should be absolutely should be wins. So yeah, the Cowboys game's really the only game that's a little uncertain. But again, after that game against the Ravens, honestly, if they go like 500 through the 6-week stretch, I don't see why they can't win the division. Again, this is a team that has a very nice schedule set up. Now let's get to the last team in this division. That would be the New York Football Giants. Alright, and now look at this Giants team. Yeah, obviously, I'm not very into them, but again, we'll talk about with the roster grades. There is a little hope. But preseason for them, again, only 2 games are scheduled. They're at the Jets and at the Texans, at least from what we know now. I don't know what these new games, like, they're so effed up with these schedules, bro. I do not live in the Midwest. I'm happy about that, too, either way. Not trashing you guys from people from the Midwest. Either way, though. The Giants, I mean, I don't know where the hell they're going to win games, guys. First, the Vikings week 1. They could absolutely start out 1-0. At the Commanders week 2. 2-0. Yes, and honestly, I think it could absolutely happen. Unless the the Giants defense sucks the first 2 weeks, 2-0 is a definite possibility. Week 3 at the Browns, that's a tough one. First off, their offense is going to have to play honestly, Daniel Jones is going to have to be like absolutely phenomenal to win that one. And also, their defense cannot give any big holes against the run. If they do that, they're not going to win that one at all. But honestly, 2-1 I think is realistic. Honestly, they could actually beat the Browns if they don't play well. So, yeah, I don't see them beating the Cowboys either time this year, so we can get over that now. At the Seahawks, that's an interesting one, 425 on CBS. They went in there a couple years ago, 4 years ago by now, and just pulled something out of their butt and won that one. So, maybe they win that one, to be honest. So, 3-2, I'm not saying it's not possible for the Giants through 5 weeks. Will it happen? Probably not, but don't be shocked if it does. Sunday Night Football versus the Bengals, they have no shot at winning that one, or beating the Eagles, getting Saquon's return. The reason I said they won't be the Bengals is because I just don't think their defense will be able to sustain the pass rush they're going to need. Maybe they're, my bad, that's not the wrong language. Their cover guys at linebacker will not be able to sustain covering some of those, whoever the heck they put in the slot. And then, the Eagles, that's kind of self-explanatory. At the Steelers week 8, that's going to be a tough one. I think it'll be low scoring. Maybe they pull that one out, but it's going to be tough. My guess is going to be 3-5 is what they're going to be through week 8. Maybe I'm a little upset here, but I highly doubt they're going to be anything better than that. Week 9, Week 10, both winnable games. They got the Commanders at home. They got the Panthers in Germany. You don't want to play a bad team in Germany because then you're probably going to lose that game. But through 10 weeks, 500 is not out of the question for this football team. After that, though, yeesh. Versus the Bucks week 12, I'm probably going to pick the Bucks in that one. I don't know, they just don't play super well off the bye. They're going to get mauled on Thanksgiving, and then they got the Saints and Ravens both at home. Maybe they pull off one of those upsets. Probably the Saints over the Ravens, but then again, last year they didn't look really that great against the Saints, so who knows. As the Falcons, probably going to be a loss versus the Colts, unless, again, the Colts kind of just suck this year. Probably going to be a loss as well. In the Eagles game, you really never know. So, overall, again, you look at this team, I said they could be around 500 through week 10, which, again, is always a good thing. But after that, it's not great. And to be completely honest, guys, with this division, they all have pretty easy schedules. I mean, they all have chances to win games, which is honestly a good thing. But yeah, some teams will be better than others. It's actually very tight and overall. Honestly, I think the easiest team and the hardest schedule, very similar in terms of, again, the difficulty there. But all that said, let's get right into the overall rankings. All right, as I just mentioned, guys, these schedules, 4 teams in this division, they all have chances to win games. So just because, again, the Giants are 4th in this what is called scenario here, it doesn't mean that they have a hard schedule. It's just, it's not as easy as the other 3 teams in this division. But for the Giants, obviously they have a chance to win games, which I think is really big. But the one thing I think for them is that, again, if Daniel Jones gets hurt, they obviously don't have a chance to win some of these games. But maybe they pull off one of these upsets here. But again, they have some games they just have no shot at winning, which again is just going to set any team back. So that said, though, they do have a lot of winnable games, and if they're they're not going to win every single one of those. But if they go 5-1 in the games, they have a really good shot at winning. They have a shot at being somewhat relevant this year. Don't get twisted. There are games on this team schedule they have absolutely no business winning. The Cowboys games, the Eagles games, maybe they won week 18, and maybe the Bengals game. So yeah, games on the schedule they have no shot at winning, but they do have home games against some pretty good teams, which, again, at least makes it somewhat fair. Next team we got is Cowboys. The reason they're 3rd is because, again, I think they have some really tough games that, again, they're just not going to play well in. Also, again, you look at it overall, again, the start of their schedule is just brutal. And, again, if they get out to a bad start, I don't know if they're going to be able to recover the way they've been able to in the past. So, yes, the Cowboys schedule isn't hard, but it's probably harder than these other 2 teams. And in second, I have the Washington Commanders. Again, the reason I have them here, yes, you can't expect this team to win freaking 12 games this year, so don't get that confused with the Cowboys or anything like that. But really, with this team, the teams they're playing have weak pass rushers, which is really good for Jane Daniels, so he can get sit in. And again, you're trying to set your quarterback up for success, and he can have some team success. This is what this team's schedule has, and again, for what they're trying to do this year, it's perfect for them. That's why they're in second. It's not because, again, you got to look at this team, what they're trying to do every year. Obviously, they're trying to technically try to win the Super Bowl, but what this team's trying to do this year, perfect schedule for them. The reason I have the Eagles at first, I mean, they got a freaking paper soft end of the season, guys. Like, there's no way around it. Like, if they are somewhat decent through, like, the first, 14 weeks, they should absolutely win this division. So, I don't really see a big thing there. Again, that Week 17 game is massive. Again, if they're not dead yet, they should be okay. But yeah, I have the Eagles with the easiest schedule in this division for good reason as well. And that is all I got for the NFC's 2024 schedule rankings. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay around for tomorrow because, again, the NFC North is coming again. We got 8 straight days of these schedule rankings before again we get in the roster grades for the rest, basically the rest of the offseason. But until then, see you guys for tomorrow for the NFC North. And again, we got Celtics and Pacers tonight. So yeah, if you guys watch NBA, I hope you know. But if you do, that's going on too. That's all I got for you guys. And yeah, see you tomorrow for the NFC North.
Number 1 in the position. Here's Elliott into the secondary. Over Quinn trying to run him down and running out of time. It's a touchdown for Elliott. You call a blitz. You make a mistake. It's over. And it is Smith. Likes what he sees. It's a beautiful cut.